Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time once again for Taco Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. Now, as of the recording of this video here, it's late in the evening in the United States. I think UK's already gone to bed. We did not get a new Galnet article today, but we kind of didn't need one because the one we're going to go over today is sort of an outline, a little bit of an overview of some of the stuff that has changed or might be changing in the near future. As you know, kind of a wall break. We got Power Play 2.0, which was recently released and has been, I guess you could say, unleashed on the galaxy, and so we have that going for us. But a lot of things have changed. There's a lot of different ways that people are engaging across the galaxy at this point, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about in this episode. The article we're going to go over is a little bit lengthy, so I'll warn you in advance. This might be more of an extended video, but I will try not to make it, couple hours long. Let's go ahead and head forward. It is a new dawn for humanity. And what does that mean? Well, some powers have shifted. As you know, Felicia Winters is now the president of the Federation. Arissa Lavini Duval is still out there running the beloved Empire. And the Alliance is doing whatever the hell the Alliance does. So there's a lot going on, and some things have changed. There's some new powers out there, some new things for you to pledge yourself to, and so we're going to take a look at some of that stuff here. And it says, with the Thargoid invasion force seemingly on the edge of defeat, political analysts have presented several arguments for what follows. They're not the only ones. Pretty much everybody involved has some kind of an idea about what could be happening with the approaching quote-unquote end of the Thargoid War. The potential balance of power across the core systems will be heavily influenced by the ambitions of its primary players, perhaps crucially in the Federation. Interesting. Claims Jean-Daniel Moulin. I think I got that right. Sorry to my French audience members if I butcher that. President Winters has finally taken up residence in the White House, which, again, is on Mars, and that's really weird. I think a great movie could be made about how it went from Washington, D.C. to Mars. Just saying. Ready to face a multitude of challenges. And oh boy, a multitude of challenges she is facing. This woman is taking over the Federation at the height of an interstellar war against a genocidal alien race bent on our complete annihilation, or at least our complete enslavement. She's got a lot going on, much more than balancing the economy and the checkbook and stuff. A depressed war economy, hey, speaking of, mass citizen displacement and a series of late-term policies implemented by the outgoing Zachary Hudson will keep her schedule full for months. I wonder what Zachary's doing right now. Is he on a beach somewhere enjoying himself, or are we going to see more of him? I feel like Zachary Hudson is a character that we just can't let go. And with his personality and kind of how he's in your face and always there and kind of trying to maintain control over things, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pop up at a later date in a different capacity. Maybe Zachary Hudson is salvation. Just saying. Jeremy Archer stands opposite her in Congress, ready to pounce on any signs of weakness and eager to fully emerge from the long shadow of Hudson as the true leader of the Republican Party. Jeremy is watching. So basically what you have is there's a new government in charge of the Federation, and they're making some policy changes. They're standing down they called it the preemptive detection bureau or something like that. Preventative detection bureau. Basically, it's like a organization that looks forward to see, kind of analyze different characteristics and basically doing profiling, trying to find out, which person is likely to commit certain types of crimes and then arrest them before they commit the crime, which is really horrible. It's a gross violation of civil rights. under the Federation and its laws anyway. So that's pretty much the first thing that's gone. There's a lot of other things that they're taking out, and it's just some stuff. But in the case of the Federation, you've got this new government in place, and you've got Felicia Winters on one side and Archer on the other. And there is a power struggle. There's always a power struggle. And as a matter of fact, power struggles are good for the health of these kinds of organizations. Like the Federation is healthy when there is competition. It's checks and balances thing. You don't want one party kind of controlling everything, unchecked or at least uncriticized. There needs to be some level of criticism from, the opposing team. And that's what you've got here. So Emperor on the Imperial front, Cassia Carvajal of the Imperial Herald has provided a summary of those most likely to benefit post-invasion. Emperor Arissa remains the figurehead of Imperial authority. Of course she does. Of course she will. And the successful navigation of military, migrant, and domestic challenges has only enhanced her popularity. That is such a true statement. I mean, Arissa's had her kind of hiccups throughout the years, and with Aisling and her kind of attempts to sway public opinion in her direction, Arissa has managed to keep that control and that engagement with the population and that popularity. It's only gone up. I'm actually impressed with some of the policy decisions she's made as far as assigning resources and things. I mean, even Aisling's done pretty good with the research and support of the different agencies for the Thargoid War. So it's been an interesting ride for the Empire at this point. Likewise, for Senator Denton Petraeus, whose tactical leadership during the Thargoid War reinforced his power as Admiral of the Fleet, Princess Aisling enjoys glowing praise from Aegis figures as part of the Imperial delegation to the Anti-Xeno Initiative, particularly her focus on humanitarian operations. Let me read this last line and then I'll talk. And Senator Zemina Torval seems poised to assume the position of Chancellor in the near future. What comes next for the continued glory of the Empire? Well, my friends, I can tell you the Empire will endure. Much like my cough that doesn't seem to want to go away. It's kind of odd the way that this is phrased. And I look at the difference between the paragraph above and this paragraph, because there is a heavy Imperial propaganda influence on this. There's a heraldry to it. And it really reads like the war is over, and it's not. Like, yes, it's okay to pat ourselves on the back a little bit because we have committed some pretty impressive wins. I mean, 7 out of the 8 Titans are gone. Even if that's meant to be a thing, that's a complete it's a real waste of Thargoid resources. That's a terrible military strategy. If their strategy is to give us 7 Titans and then not let us have the 8th one. I don't think that any of those victories are in vain. I think those are legitimate victories. And so I don't think that it's fair that I don't think we should ever downplay the importance of what went into fighting the systems that were necessary to bring down the defenses for the Titans and then the folks that actually fought inside the Maelstroms. But it's just really odd how this reads as more like a victory lap for the Empire. It's like everything's great and all these people are wonderful and everything's fine. Even Aegis is happy with how things are going. It's kind of strange. In the Alliance, where absolutely nothing is going on, complete waste of time, waste of space, they really should just cut it off like a diseased hand. Did I say that out loud? Sorry about that, you Alliance people. Prime Minister Mann faces his strongest opposition for some time in the Alliance to Vanya Driscoll of the Alliance Tribune. There have been some accusations toward the Prime Minister of a lack of decisive leadership during the Thargoid invasion. Hey, I think I might have just joked about that one. Nobody knows what the Alliance is doing. They're just kind of doing their thing, and occasionally they'll show up, but they're really not a major player that I've seen. And I might be wrong, but it's my perspective that they just really haven't done much or at least many things of note involving the Thargoid War. His reliance on a military pact with Sirius Corporation to enhance the Alliance Defense Force's AX capabilities awoke key dissenters in Mann's otherwise popular rule, most notably from Counselor Nakato Kane, whose anti-corporate stance and strong devotion to the Alliance's founding ideals have won her plenty of support. And yeah, there was some some pushback to that alliance. And I mean, honestly, I'm not a corporate guy in any case. I'm not a big fan of teaming up with any kind of company and going that route. But Sirius, like Sirius Corporation, Sirius is basically the OCP of Elite Dangerous. Okay, like when I think of Sirius Corporation, I picture Ed 209 guarding the front door to the Sirius Corporation headquarters. Like, that's what I picture with this company. It's not friendly. It's not something I would want to be involved in. Now, I get it. The Alliance, as far as some of its proximity and its previous contracts, it's probably in their best interest to go that route, but I'm really not sure about that. And obviously, so when they did transition or start getting into pacts with Sirius, it caused a lot of people to be upset. So you had a lot of folks that were like, "Oorah, Alliance! Wait, no, we don't do the corporate thing." And so, it caused a little bit of friction. So there's some, there's some pretty hefty pushback in the Alliance at the moment as far as their leadership. And I think looking at it from a strategic perspective, yeah, there's been some advancements, some general overall technology improvements. We've seen things like the SCO drive. We've seen new weapons coming out and new defensive tactics. But I don't really think of the Alliance when I think of that stuff. I just really don't. And that's unfortunate, because if there are contributions, they're being overshadowed by the weak leadership in the Alliance itself. Various news feeds discussed other figures. Sirius Corporation's continued influence over many aspects of the corporate landscapes gives CEO Lee Young-roy considerable power. He is trying to get Achilles. Sirius is trying to take over Achilles. We cannot let that happen. If that happens, we need to go to war to defend Achilles. Pranavantal Sigmura of the Utopia leads a far smaller but vital community of devotees convinced of their guide's future tech vision. Now, Yuri Grom. These are a lot. It's great. This article is just like a mesh, like a freaking mess. Like somebody took all the power names in the galaxy, threw them on the wall, and wanted to see who would stick. And these are the ones that stuck. So these are the ones we're getting updates on, post power play. Yuri Grom remains a prominent independent fleet commander, viewed as principal liberator to some and a ruthless dictator to others. Hey, it's all about perspective. El Presidente would tell you that. Finally, the Pirate King, Archon Delane's recent targeted attacks on Emperor Arissa and Shadow President Archer suggests that he sees an opportunity to expand his criminal influence in the post-invasion era. Now, post-invasion era, we are approaching that. It is a matter of time before Titan Coco goes down, and there is going to be a period of post-invasion prosperity. Always happens. The end of a war, the legit ending of a war, typically brings about an era of prosperity for the victors. So I would not be surprised if we see an era of prosperity. Maybe we see some additional systems entered into the bubble. Maybe we see expansions and more tech CEOs, more commanders, more people coming together, building new starports, new stations. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a massive expansion of infrastructure across the galaxy post-war. Why? Because that's typical. Because it's just this weird phenomenon that happens for the victors of major engagements like the Thargoid War to experience this massive growth and prosperity, because the kind of the war machine is still functioning, but it's starting to wind down a little bit. But the economy can still take advantage of a lot of that, selling equipment, making advances in technology. A lot of advances come from war. Look at the crazy advances that we've seen in ships recently with the SCO drives and others. So there's a lot to look forward to in this kind of this next generation of political intrigue and political setup here in the galaxy. So It's really going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few months once the final Titan is gone, and whether, another 100 Titans appear in the bubble and just melt all our faces, or if something more nuanced happens and maybe we get a Titan super mothership or something, or maybe, just a thought, that I don't think I've heard anybody suggest, maybe the Thargoids just pack up and leave. That would be something, wouldn't it? My friends, these are the Disciples. If you would like to support my work here on the channel, first, like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and tell me about your thoughts on the new setup here in the galaxy. Or you can go to patreon.com/Commander Exorcist. Pledge your support. That would be even better. And that's going to be the end of our Taco Tuesday today. A little bit longer than normal, but not too bad. And just want to say thank you all for your continued support here on the channel. A brand new high-definition camera so that you can see all this in its pathetic glory. New headgear as well. So, it's really fun to get to participate in such an amazing community and to be part of this community. It really means a lot to me, and getting to do this kind of, lore and talk about what's happening in our game and talk about the greater political intrigue and some of the weird stuff that's happening out there. It just absolutely is the highlight of my week. So I appreciate you all taking the time to watch. And I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.